Hey everyone, my name is Madison, social media manager here at Memberful. Today is a super special day. We are honored to introduce one of our newest customers, Evy Poumpouras. Hey Evy.
Hi, good morning, Madison.
You have quite the list of accomplishments. You are a former special agent with the U.S. Secret Service, and you're also the author of the best-selling book, Becoming Bulletproof, Protect Yourself, Read People, Influence Situations, and Live Fearlessly. I also was looking into some of your past interviews, and one of the things that struck me was that ever since you were little, you say that you've wanted to serve and protect. Looking at your history, I think you've done an amazing job of doing that. On 9/11, I read that you're on the 9th floor of the World Trade Center when the first plane struck, and instead of evacuating, you ran towards danger to go and save people. And so the first thing that I was curious with is what it means to live a life of service.
I think it means doing things for a bigger purpose. And maybe today, the vibe for the majority, I think, of people today is me, 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 which
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm a college professor, I'm an adjunct, and my students, one of the first things is they want to know how much money they're going to make. And it's every decision that they make as far as what they're going to study has to do with money. How much money will I make? And finances really drive a lot of stuff. And it's also about self-fulfillment, which there's nothing wrong with self-fulfillment. But I came maybe at it from a different standpoint where I wanted to be more helpful in a greater context. And that was serving society or serving people. And for me, and again, this is just me, I found so much more meaning in that. I think money can make you happy only to a point, and your identity, yourself, can only bring you happiness to a point. When we do things for a bigger meaning than ourselves, first of all, we're more successful. I remember in the U.S. Secret Service, I would do the polygraphs, and I would ask people who, when they would come in for the job to be a special agent, and I was the polygraph examiner also for applicants, not just for criminals. We would polygraph our people because not everybody's truthful on their applications. People lie, and sometimes those lies are pretty significant. And because of the nature of the job, they really had to verify and make sure that people were honest. But at the beginning of the interview, I would say to them, why do you want to become a special agent? And I would typically get two types of answers. One answer was, I want to do this. I want to challenge myself. I want to see what I'm made of. And then the other answer was, I want to serve my country. I want to serve something greater than myself. I want to help people. The people who answered with the latter answer, those people made it through training. The people that answered with the first answer, I'm doing it for me, those people typically didn't make it. Because the only driving force was themselves. And yourself can take you only to a point. So that when they went through the hiring process or training and they got tired or they felt bad, and it's an unpleasant process. It's not supposed to make you feel good. It's supposed to break you down, weed out people. So when they got to that point, there was nothing beyond you driving you, and people would quit. But those people who were like, no, I'm in this for something bigger than me, those people made it because they had something substantial helping them move through. So when I say service, I think of that.
I also read that you have protected 4 different presidents in the past, and just I look at your life story, and I think the amount of courage that it would take to step into these roles. Where does that courage come from? Is it that you're serving something greater than yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I also, this is not to sound morbid, but I also grew up in a household where we talked about, okay, so if you bring up the job of protection, protection means essentially you jump in front of harm, any kind of threat to protect someone, which means you might ultimately be harmed yourself and killed. So, you could die on that job, especially. And I grew up in a household where death was not feared. I think my culture, I came from a culture, I'm Greek, and I grew up in a culture where death was just part of it. It was nothing to fear. It just was part of life. People would
Mm.
pass on, and my parents would tell me that stuff. They wouldn't shield me. I grew up reading Greek mythology, and there was wars and death everywhere in Greek mythology, but it was not presented to me in a scary way. So death was not something very frightening to me. It was just, hey, this is just part of it. And so with that mindset, I went into the service like it's just part of it. I never was afraid of it, but neither were my parents or my extended family members. Now, and then when you get into a place like the Secret Service, everybody has that mentality as well, in that they're not very fear based people. People who are there, the average person, first of all, doesn't apply for that job. And then the average person also doesn't get through the hiring process. There has to be a certain part of you that wants this. And so when you're in there and you're around other brave people or like-minded people, no one's afraid, and that's a very powerful thing. Fear likes to have company.
Mm-hmm.
But there was no fear there. Fear had no company there. So when you're around other people who are like, okay, it's another day. Today we might buy it. Today might be the last. Let's make sure we have a good lunch. It's okay. So it really comes back to, if anybody's thinking like, I want to be brave, or I want to be this, I want to be that, look around you and look at what you're surrounded by. If you're surrounded by fear, that's what will govern you. But if you're surrounded by people who are brave, or, move forward despite being afraid, then that's what you will become.
This new membership that you have, it's called Beyond Bulletproof. And what will be so incredible about this is that there will be this community of people who will be learning to live more fearlessly and out of strength. Honestly, when I look around in my day-to-day life, it's not hard to be surrounded by quite fearful people. I think people living with a sense of strength and confidence and fearlessness, or at least fearing less in life, living with courage. I don't think it's so easy to find those types of people. And so when you have the ability to connect with others who are striving to live a life closer with those values, that must be such a powerful thing. I mean, is that part of the motivation behind this membership that you are starting, or what excites you most about this membership that you've just launched?
You're actually correct about the whole thing. It's very hard to find people, or to find a tribe of people that are like that. It's not very common, especially today. So if you don't have access to it, where are you going to find it? If you're like, okay, you can listen to a podcast, like you and I were speaking a bit earlier before we jumped on, and you can listen to somebody talk about it for about an hour, and then you move on with your life, and you're inspired for that moment, but then you go back to what is around you. What are you surrounded by? So when I created this membership with Memberful, it's interesting because it's almost like I was trying to create a membership similar to what I had when I was in the service. I was a member of something great. So my mindset was, all right, can I create something great, a place where people can come on a consistent basis, and we can talk about different things, different topics. I told my new members, we just launched this month. I did my first wave, and I told people, tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want to work on. And I wanted to make sure that it was a very productive platform, that we talked about strategies and skills. And then, yes, there's that part of it where we just talk collectively, or people share their concerns or questions or things that they're struggling with. And I wanted people to have that on consistent basis, because I know that there's people out there who can't find it.
Yeah. Yep.
That was a whole point of creating this. Because to change, it's not just being exposed to something once and for a moment in our lives. You have to be exposed to it consistently. So I understood there had to be some level of repetition. And in my mindset was, all right, I'm going to launch a subscription series. It'll be an extension of Becoming Bulletproof. So I named it Beyond Bulletproof. It's going beyond what the book is. It's going into your life, into your lifestyle. What does that look like? What do people need? And a lot of it too, I know it's going to morph and transform based on my members because it's not designed around me, it's designed around them. What do you need? And I tell them, my first session, I opened it up and I said, I'm here to serve you. This membership is about you. I'm here to serve you. You tell me what you need. And then we will go from there. So in some ways, yes, I'm taking that idea of service and I'm
Yeah.
bringing it into, memberful.
I know my colleagues, they're like, oh my gosh, I so badly want to be a part of this membership themselves because
Oh my
of,
God, you're all welcome.
yeah,
Memberfield's had
it's
my
like,
back during this whole process.
oh,
You guys
it
have
looks
been, and I'm not saying
amazing.
because I'm not just saying because I'm on your podcast. I remember when I was trying to figure out a platform to launch on, the main reason I came to Memberful is because of the quality of the people that you have. I had one of your reps who really took care of me, and she's like, "I'm here, whatever you need." And it really goes to show you back to the human connection. Like people are what inspire us. People are, we're here to help and serve each other. And when you have that, something strong happens. It's not just beautiful, but it's strong and it's powerful. So I'm super happy and super excited to be with Memberful. I mean, you made a very involved process a simple process for me.
This idea of service and acting out of service. I mean, I think they hire people who fundamentally operate like that personally and professionally. And I just don't see any other way to do business or just to operate in life because everything gets better. Your relationships and your level of fulfillment and the quality of business that you do.
Well, at the end of the day, Madison, it's people. You're dealing with people wherever you go, whatever business you're in, whatever industry you're in, it's people. So if you can figure out how to connect with people, master people per se, if you can master people, you can master anything. But everyone's always so focused on the strategy, the skill, it's people. And I learned this when I was an interrogator and polygraph examiner with the Secret Service. I learned that you need to understand the human being across from you. And when you can reach them in a significant way, sky's the limit.
Another thing I know about membership is that there's a lot of work and thinking involved in creating a program that will leave a really big impact on its members. So how do you find the perseverance and also the courage to bring this passion project and share it with the world? I feel like that's kind of a vulnerable thing to do. And do you have advice for others looking to do the same thing?
Yeah, don't think, just do. If you think about something way too much, you're going to kill it. You're going to find 100 different reasons why you shouldn't do something. I promise you, the moment you start questioning, there's going to be plenty of reasons not to do it. What if this? What if that? And I've lived by, you know, it's a very simplistic way. So what? Do it. And if it doesn't work, so what? But the thing is, something can always work. It stops to work when we give up on it, when we kind of put up our hands and say, I can't do this. But you have to pivot. I'll share this story. The literary agency that I wrote my book with did like this big group think meeting once, and they invited me. And they had some of their top authors there. And I remember it was about 15, 20 of us, and I was kind of in awe. And I'm thinking, wow, they're inviting me. Okay. I went there right away, and I sat down and I looked at this man next to me. I was introducing myself to everybody, and I introduced myself to the man next to me. And I said, hi, I'm Evy. Nice to meet you. And he said, hi, I'm Mark. Nice to meet you. So I asked Mark, I said, Mark, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm an author. I wrote a book. And I said, can I ask what the title of your book is? And I believe at the time, the title has since changed, but at the time he said, the title of my book is my stupid idea. And I said, okay, what was your stupid idea? And he's like, well, I helped create Netflix. I'm the creator
Oh my gosh.
of Netflix. And I said, what happened? He's like, well, when I came up with the concept, I went around to different people, investors, and everybody told me that was the dumbest thing they ever heard of. I didn't listen. That always stayed with me. So it's okay to listen to people, but you can't listen to people.
Like you said, there's always reasons why something won't work, or if you ask for the opinion of others, they will find 100 different reasons why you're not the right person for the job. But if you listen to it, think of all the things that wouldn't exist. It is because that person believed in themselves and their idea, and they had the tenacity to keep going despite all of that. And that's why we have many of the things like Netflix. And I think that's such powerful advice. So is there anything else that you would like to share about Beyond Bulletproof? And is this something that you can sign up for at any time? Or, what would the process look like for someone who wants to become a part of your membership and community?
Anybody can sign up anytime. I wanted to make sure I created a process where people could come and go freely. I've never liked having memberships in places and feeling stuck. And my mindset was, if there's value here, people will come and they will stay. So I wanted to really deliver a good product. And essentially, it's a membership. You come, and the way it works is we have 2 sessions together a month, 2 60-minute sessions. And every month I pick a theme or a topic, and the topics are really based off of what the feedback that I get. So this month, for example, we're doing confident body language. And because I was a former polygraph examiner, I was trained in the art and skill of reading people and body language. And so a lot of people come to me, I want to be more confident. I want to be more confident. There's different layers to confidence. And so I want to start with the first layer, which is your body language. What does your body say when you talk to people? Most people don't realize this, but over 55% of what we convey and communicate to people is through the body. The body. So it's such a powerful thing. So I'm basically taking the skills that I learned as a special agent in the U.S. Secret Service, doing interviews and interrogations and reading people, and I'm bringing them to my members. I was like, all right, let's look at what confident body language looks like, and let's look at what it doesn't look at like. Let's look at the do's and the don'ts. And we're going to kind of check off that box, and we're going to talk about it. And then the following session is an extension of that topic, and then also doing Q&As, because people have specific questions related to that topic that I want to be able to answer. And so it's really a community. We also, we're also kind of all together, everyone's seeing each other, speaking. And with the Q&A part of it, I think question and answer is really important because you learn from listening to other people. Or somebody will say something, think, wow, that's really profound, or that's different. Or you may hear something and be like, that's terrible. I would never do that. We learn from the pros and the cons. So you can learn anything from anybody. And so that platform or that part of that Q&A part based on like whatever theme we're talking about is really important. And then I already got a lot of people hitting me up, public speaking. Please help me be more brave when it comes to speaking. And so I think it's adding different layers. Every month we add a layer to you, a really thin layer. And it's about you coming back, being consistent, being in this community of people who are striving to do the same thing.
When you share all these things, I'm like, yep, that's definitely something I would like to learn. And I think you're the perfect person to be teaching these different subjects. I'm sure this is going to be an incredible thing for everyone signing up. Where can people go to find out more about your membership and sign up?
So it's beyondbulletproof.net. So beyondbulletproof, one word, .net, N-E-T. That's it. Put it in there, or you could put in Evy Poumpouras, Beyond Bulletproof. It'll take you to my main website, and you can find me there.
Evy, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting with us.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you all. I really do appreciate Memberful. Like I could not have launched this without you guys. It was a process. It was something that I had zero clue how to do. And I'm truly, truly thankful for you guys. The fact that I can talk to a human being anytime I have a problem is beyond. So I'm thankful because it's because of you guys I was able to launch this.
Well, thank you.
I mean it.
Oh, thanks, Evy.
Thank you.
We're grateful too.